Wink News begins with breaking news.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 29th. I'm Teresa O'Shea, and that breaking news we're following right now as Fort Myers police are investigating an early morning murder. It happened just around 3:45 this morning, less than an hour ago on Marion Street. Wink News reporter Stephanie Susskind live with the details. Stephanie.
Well, police are on scene here at Shady Oaks Park. You can see behind me they have it completely blocked off. Fort Myers police tell us that a man was found dead inside the park with multiple gunshot wounds. They do not have a suspect at this time. The helicopter is up circling, looking for somebody who could be responsible. We spoke to Fort Myers police about the investigation. Take a listen to what they had to say.
We received the call of shots fired in the area of Shady Oaks. Officer responded. We located the male down, suffering from a gunshot wound. They attempted CPR. EMS arrived shortly after and pronounced him dead on scene.
Again, one man found dead inside the park. Police have blocked it off completely. Count on Wink News to continue to bring you updates as the story develops throughout the morning. Reporting live in Fort Myers, Stephanie Susskind, Wink News this morning.
And more breaking news we're following this morning. A late-night standoff between police and a man who barricaded himself inside a vehicle is over. For 3.5 hours, Punta Gorda police negotiated with the man in downtown Punta Gorda at US 41 and Olympia Avenue. Big News reporter Rachel Raffinelli was there as police managed to end that standoff safely.
3.5 hours of negotiations are over this morning after law enforcement evacuated these 4 city blocks in the name of safety. This was the scene overnight. Police stopped a 61-year-old Punta Gorda man, Michael Smith, at the intersection of US 41 North and Olympia Avenue for driving the wrong way. It's then officers heard a gunshot from inside the car and say Smith placed the gun to his head and refused to get out. Police then began negotiations with Smith over the phone and evacuated the area, including everyone out of local businesses. Witnesses described the scene.
We was working and the cops came and they told us to get out because the guy had a gun and we was in range of fire, so we had to leave. Smith was finally convinced to surrender after those 3.5 hours. He was taken into custody and then taken for medical evaluation. Reporting in Punta Gorda, I'm Rachel Raffinelli, Wink News this morning.
I have full details on your forecast for today coming up at 4:41. Trace?
All right, thanks, Joey. And as we just mentioned, right now several southern states are under a tornado emergency. 2 days of severe weather outbreaks have claimed the lives of at least 28 people and left a trail of destruction in its wake. Big News reporter Alexis Christoforous reports from Mayflower, Arkansas.
For the next several days.
That was Alexis Christoforous reporting. And right now, people from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast and from the Midwest to the East Coast are being told to keep their eyes to the sky and their ears to the radio as severe weather threatens a third of the country. Of course, you can also count on Wake News to bring you updates all morning long. And all new this morning in Washington, an active search for bodies following a mudslide in March has now ended. So far, 41 victims have been recovered. 2 are still missing, though. The 5-week search included hundreds of people and dogs combing debris fields. Officials say it could take 3 months to clear the debris along that mile-long stretch of highway buried in the disaster. Also new this morning, after 7 weeks of intense searching, the international air effort to find missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is now over. Some ships will stay on the Indian Ocean to gather any debris that might surface, but the aerial search itself is over. More than 600 military personnel from at least 7 countries solemnly posed in front of their planes this morning for a commemorative photo. Most of the air crews will leave the Royal Australian Air Force Base Pearce near Perth over the next few days. And right now, Fort Myers police are working to find out who is responsible for an overnight shooting that injured 1 man. Fort Myers police tell Wink News the shooting happened just after midnight at the Palm Beach Motel. That's just off of State Road 80, right near Chandler Hall Community Park. We do know 1 man was shot in the stomach. Wink News is working to find out the victim's condition and will bring you any updates as they come into us. And right now, Fort Myers police are also increasing their presence after a child was allegedly kidnapped by 2 men. It happened just before 7 o'clock Monday morning at Franklin Street and Central Avenue. Police tell Wink News the 10-year-old boy says he was forced into an SUV at his bus stop and driven around for hours before he was able to escape and run home. Police say the alleged kidnappers are an older white male with salt and pepper hair and a young black man with mohawk-style hair driving a dark blue four-door SUV. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. Their number is 1-800-780-TIPS. Today, crews will break ground on a major new medical facility in Southwest Florida. It's a pediatric care unit at Golisano Children's Hospital. That's at Health Park in Fort Myers. McNews was there in December for a groundbreaking on the first phase of the Children's Hospital. Leaders hope to have that facility up and running in 2017. Also today, a major step in the recovery of a DeSoto County dog severely burned and left for dead. Today, Wink News will be at a clinic in Tampa when Hope is released. Hope is the dog that was set on fire last month, suffering burns to most of her body. Her owner, 66-year-old Larry Wallace, is now charged with animal cruelty and arson. McNews is learning Hope will be turned over to the rescue group that found her. Good news for Hope this morning. And coming up right after the break, Wink News meteorologist Joey Sobine is back in with your weather on the ones for your Tuesday. You're watching Southwest Florida's news leader, Wink News This Morning.